Wow, welcome back to GLF Born. I'm Daniel, coming to you from Accra, Ghana. I'm excited to be here today. In the midst of everything else going on in the world right now, it is such an honor to have you with us on the last day of this groundbreaking global event to share ideas about confronting some of the most important and complex challenges in our time. Before we get going, let me just say something small. Surprisingly, today happens to be the World Environment Day celebrations. It was created on the first day of the first ever UN conference, which focused on humans and how they interact with the environment. In 1974, the theme was just On One Earth. Last year, the awareness was raised about some 7 million people who die annually from air pollution with the slogan, Beat Air Pollution. In this, I would like to, on behalf of the GLF, remind you to make a commitment to recycle, at least plant a tree, and give us a hashtag, GLF Born 2020 tree planting. Happening today also at noon Pacific time is a partial penumbral solar eclipse nicknamed the Strawberry Moon. Today happens to be just too special to miss out on the events that GLF has put together just for you. If you're watching on the Uber app, tell us your favorite animal from your local region. Yes, I can see a lot of people typing in there. That's nice. I'm excited about it. Great. For those of you who just got here, who is GLF? Who is the GLF you're talking about? Okay. Now, we are GLF, and that includes you now, and you, watching from Pacific Asia, watching from Australia, watching from, wow, Indonesia, Bangladesh, Ghana. That's nice. For those of you who just got here, GLF, we, that is you and I, are the world's largest knowledge-led platform on sustainable land use, dedicated to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals and Paris Agreement, Climate Agreement. How? By connecting, just like we're connecting right now, by sharing what we'll be doing throughout this event today, by learning, and by acting. And you have landed here on one of the best possible days to do all of that at a trailblazing GLF Born Digital Edition, the biggest digital event of its type in the world. And it's amazing to actually have you here today. You might be watching this on the GLF website, on Facebook, or within our conference app Uber. We really want to encourage you to acquaint yourself with the Uber app because there are plenty of tools to help you engage more deeply in sessions and make important connections with other conference goers, as you might have over the coffee or muffins in other COVID-free times. This is what I'm just saying. Take the networking, take the event, take the sessions, everything, embed yourself in it. I was really excited yesterday about Sabduru's moment. It was wonderful and calming. If you haven't registered, it is just for $10 US. You get a chance to connect, share, learn, and act from wherever you are in the world. We want to hear your voice. Check out the agenda in Hoover to see all of the different ways to engage, from facilitated networking sessions to presentation polls to discussion rooms and more. So why are we here? Let's back up for a moment. We're here to address one of humankind's knottiest issues, which the COVID-19 pandemic has brought to the forefront. Human health and livelihoods depend on planetary health, and we cannot do away with that. So, how can we feed a growing global population without eating the planet? And that is the question we've been trying to answer. That is the question, and that is the reason for which GLF put us all together. And do you know how many people are on this Uber platform? There are over 5,000 people participating directly in this conference. It is amazing, with over multi-million social media reach and viewers. It's so exhilarating. It's like the whole country, the whole continent is watching GLF. And you couldn't have chosen a better time to view and be a part of GLF digital conference than today. I'll tell you why. Let's continue. So the health, biodiversity, climate, and land degradation crisis share root causes and reinforce each other. Tackling them calls for a concerted response and, crucially, for an integrated response, one that addresses the destruction of natural ecosystems and the unsustainable use of land and natural resources to restore planetary and human health. At GLF Born 2020, we are convening leading voices to discuss how to feed a booming global population while preserving the ability of ecosystems to support human health and livelihoods in the long term. And there's clearly no time to waste. Let's make the most of our last day together here. So I'll give you just some little highlights from first and second days for some of us who weren't here with us. The last few days have been so huge. The stats just got out that we have almost 500 people participating on this forum, which is massive. 40.3 million people have been reached on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. Over 6,000 people tweeting about this event. 64,829 engagements over social media during the conference. And one of the main things for me is seeing the mix of global, national, regional, and grassroots participation being shared so freely and saying that we all want the same thing. And also, come to think of it, if we had this conference in a city somewhere with all of you coming down, can you imagine with over 64,829 engagements and 5,000 people participating, the number of the quantum of carbon footprint would have left on this planet? Can you imagine? And all this is zero carbon footprint. We would like to give GLF, the technical team, and everybody who made this thing happen, including yourself, a wonderful bravo. You've done well. At this point in time, let me get your answers. Let me see your favorite animal from your local region. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Somebody is saying a beetle. Beetle. Interesting. I like that. Somebody's saying mosquito, and this is definitely from Ghana. How can mosquito be your favorite animal? Can you just give me some highlights? Wow, the person is actually saying that the mosquito keeps him awake and prevents him from sleeping when he wants to learn at night. That is interesting. I am really excited about this. It's kind of revealing mosquito being a favorite animal from the local region. I'm seeing a panda. That's nice. I'm seeing a butterfly. Wow. Because what it has the ability to change, and given time, it becomes very beautiful from a caterpillar. That's nice. That's nice. Thank you so much. So let's just check out the agenda on Wova, either on your desktop or smartphone. There's so much to explore. Have a play with the app. You can use it to explore the agenda, signpost to sessions you don't want to miss, and meet new people. If you have any issues with the app, please check out the FAQ documents located in the Wova on the left side menu on your desktop or under the FAQ in the mobile app. Make sure to provide session-specific feedback using the rate session. I think some of you are too much enjoying the sessions that you forget to rate the sessions. All right, so there's a rate the session button just there on the session pages, or by selecting survey tab, you can actually use the survey tab in the sessions that you are participating in. You could just rate them. I found something very surprising about 2 days ago on wood fuels. It's interesting, very, very interesting. And we also gave a very wonderful highlight yesterday about mangroves. Did you know that the rising sea levels could wipe out the entire mangroves on this planet by 2050 if we can have a continued rise of 6 millimeters per annum? That means we have just 30 years to get rid of all these mangroves. And if mangroves are going to save us, we would need to save them first. And we know that mangroves can better sequester carbon dioxide than rainforests of the same size. In Florida, in Tampa Bay, where we have one of the biggest reserves of mangroves in the world, Tampa Bay has lost nearly half of its mangroves in the past century. And the mangrove session yesterday was very wonderful. Let's take care of the mangroves too. When we come back to the land, the wood fuels, let's take care of the trees. Before you cut down wood for fuel, make sure you plant one in succession. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Christiane Paulus. Dr. Christiane Paulus is the Director General for Nature Conservation and Sustainable Use of Natural Resources and Environment, Nature Conservation and Nuclear Safety at the German Ministry. Her work centers around international climate policy, protected areas, the environmental impacts of biotechnology and genetic engineering, equal rights and nature conservation. What a mix. She is just a cocktail of knowledge and experience. Let us hear from you, Dr. Paulus.
Yeah, hello everybody, dear colleagues. First of all, happy Environment Day to everybody. I hope you enjoy that we are here together, and we should also not forget to celebrate our environment from time to time. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers for inviting me to this digital conference. I have to say, over the years, I have become a true fan of Global Landscape Forum, and I'm very happy to be here again. The format, this digital format, has been very progressive already when we were not forced to work from home. So I'm very happy that this community is growing and growing all the time. Yeah, starting this day, the last day today, I would say a few words about the issue of this day and about the situation in the EU and Germany. Everybody I think has to start with saying that the COVID-19 pandemic hits us all hard and makes us reconsider the many aspects of the way of life we are living at in the last decades. And I think we are still in the situation that the fight against the pandemic disease is our priority. But we also see that countries are starting shaping the recovery programs, or are even starting to implement these recovery programs. And it's very necessary that we are discussing the reason why we have been coming to this situation. I think it's not known enough and should always be repeated that there is a crisis behind this COVID-19 crisis, and that is the biodiversity crisis. We are, I think, all aware that biodiversity is extraordinary for us, and that we are fully dependent on biodiversity for the food we eat, for the water we drink, and the air we breathe. I'm not getting tired to mention the IPBES global report that has been released last year, the first global assessment on biodiversity and ecosystem services that told us alarmist figures about the biodiversity loss and ecosystem collapse that is one of our biggest threats. And we can state that we already had a lot of ecosystem lost. It has been mentioned already by Daniel before. And this alarming figure that 1 million species are threatened by extinction is very worrying us. But in the last weeks and months, we also have learned about the close links between human health and the health of the biodiversity system and the ecosystem. We have learned that 70% of the new and emerging diseases are zoonoses, and that corona is only one example of it. There have been zoonoses before, and there will be new zoonoses coming in the next years. And scientists have not been quiet about raising the awareness on the links between health and our own health and the health of ecosystems. We have to state that we are coming too close to wildlife. And this is not only by illegal wildlife or markets which are not run properly. It's also about getting deeper and deeper into undestroyed forests, and also about losing stability of the ecosystem because we are losing the diversity of the ecosystem. So what is the way out of it? This is something that we really need to consider very seriously. I think I've mentioned the recovery programs that are going on, and I think it must be clear to all of us that we have to invest in nature, and that we cannot restart our economy with a business as usual scenario. That is not an option, and we have to do better now. We have to learn from the past, and we have to use this window of opportunity, because these very big programs that are going to start now are also a chance to do better. And nature compatible production and consumption patterns must be in the focus of these recovery programs. And we should not forget that forest peatlands and river floodplains contribute not only to climate protection and climate adaptation. We should also think about, and that is relating to the theme of the conference itself, that the insect decline is a very difficult thing. That is, as insects are essential for pollination and for food production. And I will say a few more words about what we are doing on insects in Germany later. And we also need to think about sustainable agriculture, green infrastructure for clean rivers, green urban infrastructure. And I think there is a lot of things that we can consider and that we can integrate in our recovery programs. The first steps have already been done about the way out of the situations, and I would like to give a few examples for the European level. That is the European Green Deal, where the new Commission has been making a very interesting start of work last year, and in realizing what is all in there in the Green Deal, the European Commission has been publishing two very important communications. The one is the EU Biodiversity Strategy for 2030, and the second one is the Farm to Fork Strategy. And I will, you will find them on the net, but I will say a few words about what is in there. First of all, I'm very happy that these strategies came out, because there was a hard fight about how green these strategies can be, and we are very happy that they are really courageous and ambitious. And it says a lot about protected areas, about cross-cutting issues, about financing of biodiversity. And the Farm to Fork Strategy challenges the whole steps from the whole chain, from production on the ground to realize a more sustainable food system. And it also reflects very well the links between what I've said before, healthy people, healthy society, and a healthy planet. Yeah, now after these communications have come out, we in Germany are in a very interesting position, because in a few weeks we will be in the EU presidency. That means that we have to coordinate in the next half year the 27 member states, and we have to be the honest broker. We have to find consensus among the member states, and on the other hand, we don't want to lose the momentum and the ambition. So it's going to be a very busy time for us, and we are hoping that we, at the end of our presidency, we come to a very good reaction from the Council, that these strategies that have been suggested by the European Commission then also can be implemented. Although I don't know what is the outcome of this half year, I can promise you that biodiversity issues are in the core of our of the ministry's activities, and we will all we will do our best to have a good outcome. Yeah, I've also said that I would like to mention a few examples. Another example from our national German policy, where we try to implement measures for food security, and that is our action program for insect decline, which we have the federal government launched in 2019, and we are now implementing the action program, and we see the insect decline only as a part of the overall biodiversity loss, and it's also a very much cross-cutting issue. You cannot protect insects by protected areas. You also have to change the whole production pattern and consumption patterns also, and this is a very, very broad task. And what we are doing now is that we are having some legally binding activities where we have where we will have an insect conservation act and some statutory ordinances. There will be changes in the law on plant protection products, legislation on fertilizer use, and in water law. And we will also have provided quite a huge amount of money, that is 100 million euros per year, to promote insect conservation and expand research. And that is already made available. Then we are doing a lot in the fields of conservation and restoring of insects habitats. And then, of course, there is in the core of the activity is that we change our way of application of pesticides, and that the reduction of deposition of pesticides will be lowered. Yeah, these are a few examples from our activity. I hope I could make clear that the food security on a healthy planet can only be achieved by cross-sectoral approaches, and that efforts are needed to safeguard biodiversity, food security, and human health. Thank you.